स्वागत करते हैं जी एक बार फिर आप सब ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਸਵੈਥਾ ਰਾਣਾ ਸੂਰਿਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਆਰਟ ਦੇ ਟੀਚਰ ਹਨ ਐਲਏ ਮੈਥਸਨ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਰਹੇਗਾ ਕਿ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੈਥਡਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਡਾਪਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ ਥਰੂ ਆਰਟ ਮੈਡੀਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਟੈਂਸ ਨਾ ਹੋਣ ਅਤੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਜੀਵਨ ਚੰਗੇ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਤੀਤ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ। ਆਓ ਇਸੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਸਵੈਥਾ ਰਾਣਾ ਸੂਰਿਆ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you. So you're an art teacher.
Yes.
How long you have been an art teacher? And as a teacher, what do you find amongst the youngsters, especially the small children? Parents sometimes don't know how to control their children.
Yes.
They are very hyper or they're not listening. So how can therapy like art help them?
Well, art therapy also has a meditation component. So for myself, I approach it from that lens. I've been a teacher for 10 years now.
Okay.
I've been an art teacher for about 6 of those 10 years.
Okay.
And what I notice about kids a lot of times is they're not able to see themselves. So they see themselves as reflections of what their peers think of them or their parents think of them, friends, family. But really, peace and happiness are when we know ourselves.
Right.
And the teenage years, it's really difficult because there's a lot of changes going on.
Absolutely.
And that's why parents find it really difficult to control their children or get them to listen, because there's so much going on psychologically and socially for them.
Right.
So for myself as a teacher, I approach what I do, which is art, but also what I personally do for myself with the meditation together as a way of relieving a little bit of that pressure from the teenagers that I see in front of me.
Right. So when we talk about peace or kind of happiness, especially for small children, probably these words they don't understand.
Right.
They're too young to comprehend, what all is being taught. But basically, as a teacher, let's talk a little bit about first how your transformation took place, because as elders, you're always on the go, busy, life is going on and you have to continue with that. That race is what determines where you are going. So how did you get involved into meditation and how has that impacted you?
Well, I completely believe that it's not possible to pass on something like meditation if you're not practicing it yourself.
Right.
So it's not possible for me to stand in front of my students and tell them what to do,
Right.
and then expect them to gain the benefits of it if I am not someone who's practicing the same.
Okay.
So my journey began through things that I was trying to work through personally. I am a young professional. I'm a woman. I'm a mother, daughter. All those things, same pressures that everyone feels in life, I have as well.
Right.
And school, work, all of that. So meditation was a way for me to really make sense of who I really am amongst all of that.
Right.
And once I started understanding where meditation was taking me, further into my understanding of myself, all the other things also became much clearer.
Right.
So my role as a teacher became clearer the more I would meditate. My role as a daughter, my role as a wife, a mother.
Right.
All those things started falling into place, and that clarity is where I think peace and happiness lies.
So Sweta, when you talk about meditation, basically, generally, the perception is close your eyes, think on an object or think or don't do the think or whatever it is, whatever meditation you are following. Now, when we talk of meditation as such in broad terms, could you please expand on this and tell us that for you, what does meditation mean?
For me, meditation, if I use an example that everyone can understand, is like traveling. We all know what it's like to be on a plane in the sky looking down. That is like the ideal in meditation, where you are looking down at yourself.
Right.
And everything can be seen and you can make sense of what's going on with yourself, who you are. What does the things that are going around me mean? But we all know traveling is not just about being in a plane and going to your destination. It's also about everything that comes before it.
Right.
And meditation is a lot like that. Sometimes it can be tiring, sometimes it is a journey in itself to get to that
So
point.
basically what you're saying is observing yourself. That's what meditation means to you?
Yeah, for
Okay.
me it is observing myself and also being able to separate things that are not about myself. Because there are a lot of times that things people expect from me as a teacher,
Right.
or things my family expects from me as a daughter or mother, whatever the roles are.
Right.
And sometimes a lot of our stress comes from being too involved in those opinions or perceptions, whereas we have to build a positive perception of ourselves
Right.
and say, these are the things that make me happy, and these are the things I'm going to do in my role as a teacher,
Okay.
and kind of go beyond the perceptions of others.
Now, there are so many forms of meditation which are available today in the market.
Right.
One doesn't come to know which is going to be right for me.
Exactly.
So if you can elaborate on this particular aspect as to how did you find what you were looking for and what do you practice?
I practice Sukshma meditation
Okay.
with Sunita Bapuji. Master Sunita was someone I was introduced to through one of my teachers, my dance teacher initially, when I was a very young teacher. And the thing that really captivated me was who she was as a teacher. Obviously, I related to that as being a teacher myself.
Right.
And for me, it was the fact that she allowed me to go on that journey. As a teacher, I know it's really difficult when you see your students struggling to want to give the answer.
Right.
But the actual benefit is from holding back and allowing that discovery to happen.
Okay.
And I find Sunita allowed me to make my own personal discoveries through meditation. And I find that invaluable.
Okay. What transformation have you seen in yourself since you have started meditating?
Well, there's so many things. I can say that meditation has touched all facets of my life,
Okay.
ranging from professionally to the most personal. If I speak about my profession and being a teacher,
Yeah, how your interaction with the children
Yes.
has changed, or how you're seeing that your behavior is impacting the children.
yes, and this is why I say it's really important that if we're going to be doing meditation or mindfulness types of activities with our children, it's really important that we actually do those activities with ourselves.
Right.
Because that is where the transformation starts. It starts with the adults. And I noticed right away when I was grounded in my meditation and I felt like I was progressing in my journey with Sunita and Sukshma. The first place I saw transformation was in the classroom.
Okay.
Because I knew that as an educator, I was less tense, which makes me more approachable.
Right.
So students are going to come to me and say things to me that they are more comfortable telling me before maybe they were not.
Right.
The other thing was that I was noticing things not just as a teacher. So a lot of teachers worry about, I mean, I do as well, but management and classroom management and things like that. But after I started going through my meditation journey, I started noticing things about my students as people, as human beings in my classroom.
Right.
And that noticing builds on itself.
Right.
So when students
And
know,
when the students also observe and see the difference in the teacher,
Yeah.
then definitely they also change their attitude and they also start, coming from the best what they can offer.
yes, and when they know that you are noticing them
Right.
beyond a student number or a name,
Okay.
then there is a rapport.
So there's a better rapport and better relations between the teacher and the
Exactly, yeah.
student. And finally, youngsters also, do you also make them practice, or they are also following, doing some meditation in the class and all?
Well, this is where I went into my journey of art therapy, because I'm there as a teacher that's supposed to teach them a subject area.
Right.
So the way I have approached it from my own professional practice is to look at ways that I can bring in the subject area
Right.
and provide ways for the students that are not so overwhelming,
Okay.
and maybe small little entries into what mindfulness can do for them. So this is where I started my studies in art therapy,
Right.
because there I'm able to merge mindfulness, but also have output that is in my subject area.
And that's interesting. It's a good combination and how it's impacting the youngsters. Thank you very much for your perspective. Thank you. ਅੱਜ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਵੈਥਾ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਆਰਟ ਟੀਚਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੂਖਸ਼ਮ ਮੈਡੀਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਨਾਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਿਵਰਤਨ ਆਇਆ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਡੀਲਿੰਗਸ ਨੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋਈਆਂ, ਕਿਵੇਂ ਇੱਕ ਬੈਟਰ ਰੈਪੋ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਣਿਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਅਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਆਰਟ ਥੈਰੇਪੀ ਜੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕੀਤੀ, ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਵੋਲਵ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟੈਨਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਨੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚੈਲੰਜਸ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੋਲਵ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ। ਅਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਜੇਕਰ ਕੁਝ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਅਡਾਪਟ ਕਰੇ, ਉਹ ਜੋ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਰਿਫਲੈਕਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਜਿਸ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਨੋਟਿਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਅਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਉਹ ਚੇਂਜ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ।